Welcome in, guys. Welcome to another edition of the Parenting Puzzle with Dr. Owen. So we are very excited today. If this came across your feed in any way, don't move, don't go anywhere, don't scroll. What else did they do? They skip, they just stop. Keep watching, because today we have a really amazing episode. Not only do we have our usual superstar, Mike and I got in contact through social media. I became a really big fan of what he's doing on Mike on Parenting. He's giving like practical, easy to implement tips across all kinds of different topics that parents have challenges on. I know we sent it over to Dr. D. Dr. D, I know you've became a big fan. So Mike, thank you for coming on. Why don't you just introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about your story, about how you got into being a rock star parenting consultant on social media.
Well, I appreciate it. My name is Mike Wallach. I am a father of 4 kids. I am a board certified behavior analyst, which is not a common term and not a common title, but it just means I work with kind of the most challenging kids you can imagine, with extreme complex behaviors. And I'm a former classroom teacher, and I work full time for our local school district, where those students rise to the highest level of need. Myself, I go in with my team, and we kind of create the systems for that student to thrive. So I've been posting online for over a year, and pretty much it's one of those things where you have all these ideas in your head of like, yeah, this is really practical information, and I want to share it, and I cannot share this with someone whose kid is having a meltdown at the park. Like, that is not the appropriate time to talk to parents. Actually, what you just did was, so I want to get it out to people and see if it resonates. And that's what I started doing. I just got on my phone and just started putting out content that I would want to consume if I was a parent who's feeling frustrated with my kid and exhausted and like all out of ideas. So I really try to make it short and sweet, get to the point. I don't put any like brain science behind it. I don't want to go into like the rationale. It's just, if your kid does this, do this, and you'll see an improvement. Like, that's pretty much the gist of every single piece of content I put out there.
Dr. D, my plan is to kind of like just free flow with Mike on topics that have consistently come up on our podcast.
Let's do it.
Okay. So, and if I miss one or you want to jump in, I mean, you're the star. I'm just the peon. But Mike.
Jake, you're the co-host.
The one thing that we've heard probably the most, and I bet you've had people like in your comments all the time, there's a new parenting challenge that is more for like us as parents than probably our parents or our grandparents had, right? And that's technology. Like, it is almost, so our basic podcast, how we usually work, Mike, it's not always superstars like yourself. Sometimes it's just normal people like me. They have a question. Dr. D answers it, and I learn too. And one thing that has consistently come up is, how do I handle screens? Like, what is the best I could do with screens? Is it okay if I'm trying to clean the house to put my kid on a screen for 16 hours? How should I handle this? Because kids have so much more access. Like, should I give a phone? Should I not give my kid a phone? So yeah, what do you think about that? That was like terrible to ask the question, but screens.
This is great. So I'm gonna kind of wiggle around this topic a little bit, because I really could care less what parents do with their kids and screens. You want to clean the house and you put them on a screen, go for it. Like, I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to like tell you what's best. I have no clue what the research is. I don't know. But what I will say is that you have to teach your kids about moderation, because just like you as an adult, you could waste away 5 hours of your day and it'll feel like 5 minutes on that phone. Your kid can be on their device for such a long time. And if we are not in control of that time, we're not helping them moderate that time, they are becoming more and more addicted to those devices. Those devices are created, those apps are created to capture their attention, to keep them on longer and longer and longer. So that conversation needs to happen with your kids at a very young age. And that conversation looks different for different ages, but it just looks like, here's you can have device. I like device. I have my phone here, but we have to do it in a certain amount of time. And guess what? You as a parent kind of have to follow some rules as well. This is not rules for you and not rules for thee and not for me. This is, I'm going to set rules for you. I'm going to have rules for I'm not going to touch this before 8 a.m. I'm not going to touch this after 8 p.m. Like whatever those rules might be for your kid, try to follow them as well for yourself.
I like that.
One thing I've found that was really helpful when our kids were kind of getting into the device, especially during the summertime, is giving them an allotment of time. So you have access to your device, your iPad, your phone, or whatever it may be. You have access, and this is for you as a parent, decide 3 20-minute allotments. Use them whenever. Use them back to back to back. I don't care. I'm not going to question you, but I'm going to train them how to do it. So you take a 20-minute tab, you set a timer, you tell Alexa to set a time for 20 minutes, and you use your device for that time. Now you have 2 left, right? If your kid struggles with that transition away from it, you can have something kind of preferred, a balance to kind of transition to the next item. Or what I did with one of my kids was like, when they transitioned away, then they had the opportunity to earn a 4th time allotment. Yes, thank you for plugging back in your iPad. We're all done with it. You just earned a 4th time allotment. You can use it whenever you want, right? We're trying to reinforce that behavior of her transitioning away. So it's not going to happen every single time, but she's more likely to go plug in her iPad and be done with it when the timer goes off, because there's a chance that she might earn another time allotment. So that's the gist of it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Really, again, I don't care how much time you do it with your kids, you figure that out. But moderation is key.
But then you're also teaching them a life skill that is very valuable for devices, but also valuable for everything, right? By teaching them how to moderate and how to transition off of things, and how to, even though they're liking it and getting dopamine hits and everything, how to say, this is not the right choice for me right now because X, Y, and Z. That's setting them up for being able to have that skill across so many domains in their life. And so you're helping them with managed screens, but you're also teaching them a life skill that generalizes, which is super cool.
Can I do one judgy?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. I'd say set a rule for your family as soon as possible. Do not have devices at the dinner table if you eat dinner together. Do not have devices when you're out shopping. That kids, not because devices are bad or anything, but it's just not needed. Like, that's the perfect opportunity to have conversation, to engage them, to have them be aware of their surroundings. So I'd say just cut that out. Device time is on the couch or in the office or wherever you want to do it. That's where we do that. That's my 2 cents.
That's real. I like that, because then you're not inadvertently teaching kids that they need so much stimulation all the time. And I know one of the things that you put on one of your recent Instagram posts when you were kind of saying, like, the most important things that, you've learned over 10 years of parenting. And one of them was like, let your kids be bored. And if you're teaching kids that, to your point, if we're having family dinner, now you've got multiple humans around the table to interact with And you also need a device. From my standpoint as a psychologist, the psychology behind that is now you're teaching them you need maximum stimulation at all times to handle situations. And that is dangerous because then those boring moments feel like more of an absence of stimulation than they actually are. And so it's the opposite of letting them be a little bored to develop flexibility and creativity. It's teaching them not only can you be a little bored when there's nothing going on, when there's lots going on, you need even more going on. That, to me, that's scary from the psych standpoint. And I know you said, you know, it doesn't matter to you what people want to use for kids for devices. From a psych standpoint, it really is impactful, right? Because then kids are learning that they have to have tons of stimulation all the time to just be okay and regulate. And that does not set them up for successful development, for healthy brain development. Like, there are actual implications to that. So I think your recommendation of times when there is other stimulation, potential for interaction, other things going on, don't set the standard as those are also device times, because then they're learning more rather than balance.
Yeah. So I don't know if you have like a comment section or a caption section, but I could share a document with you, since, you know, I talked about don't do this, don't at the dinner table. I want to talk about what you can do. So I created a list of like 10 really fun, really simple things that you can do at dinner time to set it up for just enjoyment.
Yes.
Everyone's just having fun.
Yes.
So I could share that with you, and you could put that in the captions. Just like a couple of, go ahead, Jake.
I need that in my life, Mike. Please, this guy.
It's great. But also, Mike, like, what I also feel like, I love that. Please do share that. And do you ever like ask the kids? Because this is kind of like what you were saying before, asking kids for, well, that isn't working, what do you suggest? Also, like, kids sometimes have really creative ideas. You're like, oh, what do you want to do during dinner, right? Like, what do you want to talk about, or what do you want to share about? And then, like, you end up with really fun, creative conversations, and then they get to feel proud because it was their suggestion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mike, you would like this. We do these convo cards. Like, I bought this deck of cards. We're almost through the deck now, so I'll probably need a new deck. But like, it has like like, hey, if you could have a superpower, what would be superpower be? Me, I'd want to fly. Just if you were wondering, okay. So like, just different like questions that are like supposed to like spark dialogue. Yeah. We all answer the question and say why you don't want to fly, or you don't want to like have super strength or whatever. So that's something we do.
That's cool. But those are great. I mean, can you imagine that? Not to pinpoint any one profession, but let's say like accountant or engineer, or who has zero experience ever being around kids. They've never had like younger siblings or something.
Right.
It's like, what do I do with these little humans? I hope no one takes offense to those. My wife is an accountant. But it's to give parents like, here, this is what you can start a conversation with, and just dive deeper and deeper and deeper, and continue those conversations like that. I remember when my wife and I first started dating, but we were before kids. We went on like a 4-hour plane ride, and I sat next to some random 10-year-old kid, and on the entire plane ride, I talked to that 10-year-old kid, because that's just my natural affinity is like to be kid-like. And she's like, how did you do that? I would have been done after like one question. So I love talking with kids. And can I give real quick, is like, a lot of times parents, I think when you sit down to play with your kids and hang out with them, we make it educational. We just start playing in the educational way, which is so weird. It's not, kids are like, yeah, that train is blue. All right, I'll count the trains. And like, we just like, what color is this one? And if you're getting down with your kids at younger ages, just make noises, like car noises, and just play. Just So yeah, exactly. Sometimes we just we need to make every moment productive, and that's how I think it is.
And then you're Mike. Then you're asking the kid, like even my 3-year-old, like, "Hey, what's this train called?" He's like, "Bro, it's blue. I already know that. Like, why are you asking me things I already?"
Yeah.
Let's just play with these trains, man.
Let's go.
Train track.
Yeah. I think even I love that, just making noises or just kind of like watch them and just follow them. Like kids, adults, we think, oh, that would be weird if someone just copied everything we did, but kids think that's great. So if you just literally mimic everything they do with just the other train, like that's going to be fun for them. Yep. So I think that's a great suggestion. I love that idea. Awesome.
I have a quick question, Mike. Or Dr. D, both of you guys, and this is probably an elementary question. Sorry, but I'm thinking it, so maybe some other people on the podcast that are listening, the audience might be thinking it too. Like, how do we teach our kids to be okay with being bored?
It's a great question. Yeah, if they're coming from constant stimulation from a device, it's going to take some effort. It's going to take some. Our proximity needs to be close to them. We need to like train them. All these different like steps. One thing I've found really helpful for kids I've worked with, as well as my own kids, is creating, kind of getting like a whiteboard or piece of paper and just plotting different things, activities, things on that piece of paper. And it's like Play-Doh, coloring, reading books, have a snack. It's just random on there. And they say, Daddy, I'm bored. Go check your paper. What are you going to do next? Right. And then this is an opportunity for them to set timers, to engage with an activity for certain durations. But it's like you have so much access to stuff, to play, to explore, to entertain yourself. And here's how you can do it. If you need my help, I'll help you. And maybe one of them is like, play with Daddy. It's like, yeah. And as soon as they do one, they cross it off and they go to the next one. That's a really simple way you can teach your kids to engage, to do things on their own. It's been really helpful.
It's kind of like a menu, Dr. D.
We have a post about this, so I love that, Mike. The other thing I want to say, though, is from the parent side of things, is that parents, this is where distress tolerance comes in, because parents have to be willing to have their kid unhappy in these moments, or not like fully thrilled or engaged, and that's okay. And if you're sitting there going, it's okay, boredom is not actually bad or dangerous, it's just unpleasant. And actually, boredom can lead to massive creativity.
Yes.
When allowed for long enough. But the problem is we tend to jump in and solve it too fast because it's unpleasant for them, which by nature becomes unpleasant for us. So if we can be okay with them being bored, we are modeling that it's okay for them to be bored. That goes back to what you were saying a couple of minutes ago, Mike. Don't, do as I say, not as I do. Like, model for them what you want them to also practice. And then also, they don't have to be scared of boredom if we're not scared of boredom.
Mm-hmm. We can sit in the car and just drive. We can go for a walk. We can, like, all these different things, and have silence. Silence is good. Silence, you can have original thoughts. You can think when there's silence. And so this is something you can show them, but you can actually tell them this as well. It's like, you can tell them, like, when was the last time you're thinking? You're like, have thoughts going on in your head about our family, about your friends, about all these different things. It's probably when you were in a quiet place. It's probably when you were just engaged with like a simple task, like Legos or something. It probably was not when you had a phone in your hand or a device in your hand, or you were playing electronics. Like, this percentage-wise or probability it's not going to be during one of those times. So it's all about life skills and modeling, like you said.
Yeah, because when you have a phone in your hand, you're just watching something, you're not thinking, you're consuming.
Yeah.
You know? Hey, Dr. D, I have a great idea. Just hear me out on this.
Okay.
Sounds like a next book that you could co-write with Mike. Just saying. You could call them Boredom. I don't have a title yet for you. That's workshopping in my brain.
Okay. I love your ideas,
Great
Jake.
future kids book. You guys should think about
Wait,
that.
are you bored right now? Because you're being so creative. Are we boring you, Jake?
No.
I'm just teasing. I love getting his goat, Mike. Okay, I have 2 more questions for Mike. Do you think we have time, Jake? Is that okay?
Heck yeah.
Okay, my first question is, because Jake already answered this, what would be your superpower?
I think man, this is good.
How do you not have this answer ready? I thought we all
Never.
just
Yeah, never thought about this one recently. Let's go with the ability to become really small.
Ooh, very interesting.
I feel like I have to ask why, Mike. You
Well,
probably were expecting a follow-up question on that.
well, yeah. Have been building Legos with my 5-year-old son a lot, and like, wouldn't it be cool to like be really small and then go actually inside the Lego set and hang
Yeah,
out?
that would be cool.
That's really fun. I love that one.
Or
Okay.
actually, like drive the train when you're playing trains. How cool would that be?
That's a really fun idea.
All right, Dr. D, you know you have to answer the question too.
Oh, mine is like completely ready. I've always wanted this power, just teleportation. Not necessarily even different like periods of time, just like I could snap my fingers and be anywhere in the world in this moment right now without having to travel there, and anyone touching me can come with me. So like, you know, want to go to dinner in Italy? Grab
on,
my
Jesse,
husband
let's
and
go.
kids. Let's go. Go to Italy, and then just no travel back, no jet lag, nothing. That would be my number 1, hands down.
Okay, can I change mine? I'm so because we could be like, you could be like, hey Jake, I want to film a live episode. I'm just gonna come on over. All right, bye. I gotta make dinner. That'd be sick.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, and so my other question is, Mike, you've given us so many golden nuggets, but are there any other things that are just like kind of your things that you want to share, that you love to share with all parents, or that you think are just really, really valuable parenting tips that you want to make sure that we include today?
Well, if I could just share that after 10 years as a behavior analyst and being a parent myself, and really trying to boil down, like I said, when a kid does this, do this. I wanted to boil it down, like what are the 5 or however many strategies I use with kids, and yeah, I came up with 5, and I labeled it the RIGHT approach. So it's RIGHT. Each letter stands for a different strategy. And these are the same strategies I use with the most challenging kid you could possibly imagine. A kid who's like screaming, kicking, biting, running away, like all those different things. I would use those same 5 with my own kids at home. I'll give you a couple of them, and then if you have any other follow-up questions. But the first one is redirect. Redirecting our kids, especially when kind of problematic behaviors are starting to escalate a little bit. And so what I do is help parents kind of understand what that is. What is a redirection? It's not just like, there's a bird. Come look at the bird. Like it's not. It has to be authentic. It has to. It's like we're showing our kid whatever you're doing right now has no value. And we're going to move on from that. We're going to come back to that maybe, but all we're doing is we're shifting our focus so that we can move on with our day. We can de-escalate, and we can try again. We could do a different behavior. The next one is ignore. Ignore is a difficult one to express here in the next 10 seconds. But so much of what we do as parents is react to kids' behaviors. React. Hey, put that down. Hey, stop. Hey.
Yeah.
So what I teach parents is like, oftentimes you can just ignore and pair it with one of these other strategies. It's not just like we just let our kid kick us all day. We let our kid snatch something out of someone's hand. But it's ignore the specific behaviors. Hey, do not take that. Hey, give that back. The next one is give two choices. Give two choices to your kids as much as you can. Don't overwhelm them, though. Then it's too crazy.
Yeah.
And both choices need to be acceptable.
Yeah.
The next one is harness their motivation. Like they are going to come to you often with things they want. Mommy, can I have a popsicle? Mommy, can I get out my iPad? Mommy, can we go outside? Daddy, can we? Yeah, of course we can. First, let's go clean up that mess you made, and then let's go do it. Right? They're going to tell us what they want, and then we can say, yeah, you can have that. We're going to be on their team. And more often than not, 80% of the time, they're just like, nah, all right. And they go clean up. They go do that thing you need them to do. Is there something you want to say to your mom real quick about earlier? You need to apologize or anything? They go apologize now. It's like this really sweet apology. So harness their motivation. And the last one is teach the appropriate behavior. Dr. Owen talked about earlier about the function or the purpose behind a behavior. Kids are doing things for attention, to get out of something, to get an item, but they do it in really weird ways. They pinch us for attention. They slam their door to get out of something. It's like, oh, you want to get out of something. All right. This is in our head. We wouldn't actually say that, but we're going to teach them a better way to get out of it. We're going to teach them better ways to get attention. And that goes with the ignore part. I'm using all my fingers here. I don't know if you could, this was,
yeah,
this one
I like
was.
it.
Got it.
So that's the gist of it. And once parents know those, then it's all about accountability.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where parents work. I work with parents one-on-one who are looking to really make that drastic change in their household and kind of change that trajectory of their relationship with their kids, what they're currently feeling, and that guilt, that exhaustion, that frustration. I come in and help parents pretty much deplete all of that and just start over here. We're going to build up these skills, these 5 skills, and change your relationship, change your household.
I love that, Mike. So, Mike, do you only do that work in person, or do you do it virtually as well?
It's all virtual. Yeah.
It's all virtual. And can you do it with people in any state?
Any country.
Any country. So if people want to reach out to you about that, how should they get in touch with you? Yeah.
So my username on Instagram is Mike on Parenting. So you can find me on Instagram, also on TikTok is where I post videos. You can find me there. Also, maybe I could just drop my contact information in your
great. That's great. But parents could just comment on your stuff and say like, hey, want to reach out to you, and then you'll just respond to them, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, you'll be getting a comment soon from me, Mike.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And so before we move on, I need to apologize. I had some technical issues. That's why I have this weird screen. It's not my usual setup. You can't see my beautiful face as best as you usually can. So I apologize for that. Of course, we got 2 superstars on the line, and I'm looking like this, like a half screen guy. But quick shout out to our sponsor, Louisiana Flag Football. Me and my son are very involved with the league. They're actually the biggest flag football organization in Louisiana. So if you're looking for something to get your kids out there interacting with people, not on the phone, having some fun in a competitive, safe, challenging environment, go check out LouisianaFlagFootball.com. We're about to get into the fall season pretty soon, so sign-up's going to be coming up for that next month. So go check them out. If you like this podcast, if you got some good information from Dr. D and Mike on parenting, let's get the name right, Mike on Parenting, please go find Mike on TikTok, on Instagram. Mike, you anywhere else?
That's it.
That's it. So go find him on those platforms. Go watch his stuff, engage with his stuff. We're on here to help Mike grow his platform. But also, if you like this podcast, please go like, share, subscribe to the Parenting Puzzle with Dr. D. We'd greatly appreciate it. Dr. D and I love putting out content. to help parents make this job just a little bit easier, because parenting is really hard, full stop. We're actually thinking about making shirts, Mike. That's how hard it is. And just, yeah, we want to keep doing this. We love making this content. So go and like, share, comment, subscribe, send it to everybody you know. Yeah, Mike, thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please consider subscribing and leaving us a review. It really helps us out and lets others discover the show.